Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is ItsZachHere, and today I am bringing to you the Around the AHL Round 2 of Playoffs special. I just got finished with the Around the NHL round 2 of Playoffs special. You can go check that out. It kind of had a weird ending. I don't know. It felt really weird to me. I still feel weird about it. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into the show. Today we have a guest. He's a man. He was the AGM of the Admirals. He was third. The team that was third in the league, and he came
Third to
on.
last. Yeah.
Yeah, third to last. I'm sorry, I messed that up. And so he joined on because the AGM quit, and so here he is right now. Just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Winston Payne. I was the AGM for the Milwaukee Admirals through the last 6 weeks or so after our AGM got banned. Yeah, my team didn't do so hot. We're out of the playoffs, but on the plus side, there's always the LGIHL to keep us busy for a few weeks.
All right. So speaking on that, the draft ended today. Or what team are you on? Are you in that?
The draft's still going on. I think they're in the second round right now, and I haven't been taken yet. No.
Okay. So there's been a lot of stuff going on. There's Tristan. I think it's an automated system where. Oh no, never mind. It's just the LG account automated system is telling people who's getting drafted right now. A lot of big names being mentioned right now. The likes of Air Raid and the Jers. That guy. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. So, let's stop with the jibber jabber. We're just gonna go ahead and get right into it. What we're here to talk about is the round 2 of playoffs. So let's just hop right in. So the bracket's looking like in the top left you got the East, I think. Yep. So for the first matchup you have the Syracuse Crunch going up against the Binghamton Senators. Syracuse Crunch coming off of a win against the Wolfpack, winning that series in 5. Well, what is this? Oh, this is messed up. This is weird. So it's hopping all over the league. Anyways, so the Senators coming off of a 5-game win against the Pirates. So who do you think is going to win this game and why? And just give your other thoughts on the series.
Well, Syracuse won the President's Trophy. They're an extremely good team. They have a very good offense, and I think they were second in the league in goals against. Second in the league least in goals against. Binghamton also is a very good team. Binghamton actually fell to 6th seed, I think it was, because Portland won their division. Binghamton didn't win their division. And so they have a little tougher path to the Calder Cup than they might like. Who do I think is going to win this? I think Syracuse on paper, just overall, is better.
All right. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't think this is going to be a sweep or anything close to it. I'm not convinced it's going to go to 7 games either. I think Syracuse is going to win this in 6. The problem with Binghamton, first and foremost in my mind, is the goaltending is compared to Syracuse. Syracuse has a great goaltender in Mindhunter. And Binghamton, their 2 goalies, I think, are Yay Sports. I can't remember the other one, actually. But their percentages are just far below that of Mindhunters. And their defense isn't anywhere on the same level either. And in my opinion, defense is what's going to carry teams throughout this postseason. Binghamton's offense can kind of match up with Syracuse's. It's still a step below, especially since Syracuse got Cronksy Show in a big mess involving my NHL affiliate. But they're still a step below Syracuse's offense. They do have some good guys on the team on the offensive front. They have I Beat Up Cakes, who had a great first round. I think he had 13 points or so in his few games he played. Big DZ in the house also did well for them in the first round. I can't really think of anyone on Syracuse off the top of my head. I just know they're incredibly well-balanced, offense, defense, and goaltending. Probably the most balanced team in the league, and that's why I'm taking them.
All right, so for the next matchup, We have the Sun Tigers going up against the Penguins. The Penguins coming off of a 6-game series win against the Phantoms, and the Sun Tigers coming off of also a 6-game series win against the Albany Devils. So go ahead and give your thoughts and predictions on that as well.
This is an interesting matchup. Wilkes-Barre, I always have trouble pronouncing the name. They scored the most goals in the league this season. And on the other end of the spectrum, Bridgeport gave up the fewest goals of any team in the league this season. Wilkes-Barre might also be reeling just a little because they had two of their best players banned for second tag issues, their goalie Bishop and their winger Mysterion. That said, their offense is still incredibly potent, and it'll be interesting to see if their offense can power through their Bridgeport's goaltenders in defense. Bridgeport is two of the best. They probably have the best goaltender tandem in the league. Like Chatbox, CB Chuckles. I call him Chatbox Chuckles for some reason. I don't know. I've been hanging around LG's Chatbox too much. He had among goaltenders with 5 games played, he has the best save percentage with one crazy one, like 85.5%, I think. And their second goaltender, chosen one, I think it is, also is quite good. Wilkes-Barre had some goaltending issues going into the last week, but they picked up a guy. I'm going to find out who it is right now. I'm right on the page. I know they have Go V Crux, who's stepped up in the first round. He had a very good first round, although his season save percentage is somewhere in the 76% range. And Undershot Kid, that's the guy who they picked up, who's also been doing well for them. The key to this series, in my opinion, is going to be the goaltending, because those two guys have to step up if they want to end up winning the Calder Cup. They have the offense to do it. They have guys like Hones Rule, PVT Killer, excellent goal scorers. Their defense has been a little hit or miss, but it was very good during the first series. They never gave up more than 4 goals in a game against Lehigh Valley. And on the other end of the spectrum, they talk about Bridgeport a little more. When they played Albany, who's also they're a very similar team actually. They're very offense heavy, and the other aspects of their game aren't quite as strong. And they seem to handle them with relative ease. The key to that series, I think, was that Bridgeport kept the Monster J and Martin Scorsese line 1-1. They took one of those games, and that was huge for them. The key in this series is going to be keeping Holmes' Rule's line under control, because he's easily their top scorer. He leads the league in goals, I believe. And my prediction for this series is going to be this is probably going to be the closest series in round 2, I think. I'd say I'm giving the slight edge to Bridgeport because I think defense wins championships, and they definitely have the better defense and goaltending duo. I'm going to say Bridgeport in 7, although I can definitely see Wilkes-Barre taking the series.
Wow, I'm just listening to you talk, and for a guy who's new to the league, you pretty much know your stuff, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Alright, so going on to the West, we have the Hamilton Bulldogs, who beat the what's that team? San Antonio?
Yeah, the Rampage.
San Antonio in 5 games, and they're going up against the Lake Erie Monsters, who won their series against the Utica Comets in 6. So, go ahead and elaborate on this then.
Coming out of the first round, I was kind of disappointed with Hamilton's performance. They won 3 out of the 4 games they played. One of the games was a forfeit. But I was really disappointed with how little offense they produced in that series. I think they were first in the East during the regular season in terms of goals scored, but they were roughly in the middle of the pack, playing a very, very weak defensive team in San Antonio. And I'm not sure how that's going to carry over into the future rounds when they play teams that are much better on defense. Their defense was fine in that series, although they only gave up 9 goals, I believe. Their best player on offense, Elite Six's player, who I think is also the GM, he's just going to need to carry that team through the next round against a very good defensive team in Lake Erie. And I think I'm going to jump ahead of myself here. I think Hamilton, even though I'm not so sure about where their offense stands right now, I think they'll take the series relatively easy just because Lake Erie doesn't really have the offense to go toe-to-toe with them at all. I'd say Hamilton in 5 or 6. And just to talk about Lake Erie a little more, they're also in my team's division. We've played them a lot, and I hope to see them succeed, but I just have too many questions about them. They don't really have any guys atop the scoring leaderboards. They do have great goaltending. They have Pelletier, 77, I think it is, who's one of the best goaltenders in the league. He's had a save percentage in the low 80s the whole season, and that's on a team that's roughly in the middle of the pack. He's not on like Bridgeport, so his numbers aren't going to be quite as inflated as say CB Chuckles maybe. So, but their backup goaltender Fischetti had a very, very rough first round. He only made 62. He only stopped 62% of his shots, and if he does that again in the second round against Hamilton, they could be out of the second round very quickly. He needs to step up. Peltier needs to stay consistent, and their offense has to produce more.
All right, so going on to the next and last series, we have the Chicago Wolves, who swept the Rochester Americans, and going up against the Iowa Wild, who also swept the Texas Stars. So 2 teams coming off of a sweep in first round. Did the sweep surprise you in any way?
I completely expected Iowa to sweep Dallas. Dallas has had huge goaltending and defensive issues all season, and I knew that would be a big problem for them, and that's just what happened. Chicago sweeping Rochester, I'm a little more surprised about, but I expected that to be a short series. Both Iowa and Chicago have great offenses. I think they were both second and third in no particular order in terms of offense. And I know they both fished with the same number of points. That'll also be a very competitive matchup. I see it going to 7 games. I see Iowa taking it in the end. I think both teams are roughly equal in terms of offense, roughly equal in terms of defense. If you look at the season stats, they're very close in terms of goals for and goals against. But the issue that got to me was Chicago's offense in the first round did not give me high hopes. Give me 1 second here.
You all right?
In the first round, they played very impressive defensively. They only gave up 6 goals the whole series to Rochester. And Rochester's not a powerhouse offensive team, but I think that was the fewest goals given up to any team in the first round at all. The problem is, in the first round, Iowa scored almost twice as many goals as Chicago, and Chicago's offense has to step up. I know they have the guys to do it. Their GM, Dank the God, is a great offensive talent. They've, I think, a Salty Sailor's another guy on the team, a name I remember. But in a series in which both teams are going to be roughly evenly matched, the offense can't only score 16 goals like it did against Rochester in those 4 games. It's got to step up a little more than that. So I'm giving Iowa the slight edge. But again, that's another series like the Wilkes-Barre Binghamton series. Bridgeport series that I see going in 7 games to either team. But I'm leaning towards Iowa.
All right. So that all these predictions are. You mentioned a lot of interesting stuff. So, is there anything else you want to talk about before we end the show?
I'm just pulling, and I hope the rest of my team is pulling for either Lake Erie or Chicago to win and make our division proud. But I think the eventual champion, whoever it may be, is going to come from the East. All of those teams that are still left are great. The West is. I'm sorry, the West was definitely the softer conference overall.
Yeah.
In my division in particular, like the bottom end of my division, Chicago and Lake Erie did well, but I'm afraid their records might be just a little inflated because they had my team the Milwaukee Admirals, who didn't do so hot. They had Grand Rapids, and they also had Rockford. Three teams that all finished below 500.
Well, so I mean, it would be a really good a good thing to put on your resume if you're in the division where you if you're in the division with the team that wins the Calder Cup. So, with all that being said, we're gonna end the show right here. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to, but be warned, you can go watch Around the NHL show. It gets pretty weird at the end, but I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Stay tuned for tomorrow night at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna be doing the Around the CHL show, and so all that being said, it's been your boy Zach here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm out. Peace.